Hey, you're live.
I'm live.
Yep.
Hey everybody, this is Jason Akers of Green Acres Pest Control. And today my wife is a cameraman, and if you hear some noise in the background, she's pumping her boobies because we had a baby. I got me a little boy right here. His name's Charlie, and he's eating tonight. But I thought I'd do a live stream because I'm long distance doing bed bugs over the weekend. And I thought I'd pop on real quick. If anybody has any questions, they're welcome to ask me. I'll give you the best answer I can. My wife will read them off to me, and she'll tell me what's going on. So anyway, I wanted to go over some things today about pest control and babies. A lot of people ask me, one of the biggest questions people ask me when I do the pest control is this going to hurt my child? Is this going to be safe for my pets? Is this going to be safe to use around my newborn baby? This is a newborn baby. He's only 11 days old. And typically what I try to tell people is the type of pesticides that you buy over the counter are way more harmful to you and your children than what I would spray in your home. If I'm going to use a pesticide around your home, it's going to be EPA registered. It's going to have a safe LD50 value to use around your children and your pets, and it's not going to harm anybody. It's not going to harm me. I'm in it every day. It's not going to harm your children. It's not going to harm your infants, your newborns. Are they hating themselves? Why are you jumping around back there? You know, they're watching you. There are people on that right there, and they can see you misbehaving, jumping around on the bed at a hotel. They can see you doing that. A lot of people can see you doing that. Don't you want people to think you're being good? All right, behave yourself. Sorry. Anyway, is anybody there? Is anybody
Yeah, there's
live?
5 people.
Nobody has any questions or anything?
No,
All right.
not that I
So
can
anyway,
see.
I want to go over. There are things that will harm your children when it comes to pests. Mice, spiders. You don't want bed bugs. You know, here I am in a hotel. I already checked the room. They don't have no bed bugs in it. If you're curious, I'm staying at the Sheraton at Tyson's Corner, but up near DC, and it's a good hotel. No bed bugs. Old, but it's nice. You know, I like it. But anyway, there's lots of things that can harm your children, as far as rats, mice, roaches, spiders. There are all kinds of pests that you don't really want in your house around your children, around your fleas, things that come in on your pets. You want to be able to treat your pets, and you don't want So did you have a question? Because I thought you had a question.
Well, yeah. Well, I think you should explain the LD50 value.
Oh, what the LD50 value is. The LD50 value, like I went over before, I was explaining that the LD50 value, every pesticide that's registered with the EPA has to have one. They are, basically what it does is when they do testing with pesticide, they will take a target number of mice or rats or stray animals, and they will give them a dose of pesticide in concentrate form. And they have a target number. Like, let's just use tonight, we'll use 100. So, because 100 is easy to do with percentages. And they will give them a specific amount. So, for example, if the amount is, say, an ounce of concentrate, they give every animal an ounce of concentrate. Now, that's not mixed. That's a full strength ounce of concentrate. The animals that live, and the animals that die. And they do that test, and they keep upping the dose until they kill 50% of the target animal. So if it's 100 animals, they kill 50. They give them all the same dose, and the 50 that live, that's what they deem the LD50 value. So they'll say that, I think he's all right. They'll say that, well, the LD50 value is this percentage, or the LD50 value is this much. And typically, with the pesticides that I use, you're more likely to poison yourself with table salt. So you want an LD50 value that is, and it'll tell you right on the label the actual level of which concentrate that they had to give the animals. So that's how they know if a pesticide is safe to use around your cats or your dogs, because they've used it on cats and dogs, stray animals. Now, a lot of times you take your animal to say the vet or someone like that, not the vet, or the pound, they get euthanized at the pound, but not always. Sometimes they do send them to places like colleges, schools, and places like that. Your fingers over the lens.
Yeah, someone said they had trouble hearing you, so I'm going to try and put it a little closer to you.
Okay. But anyway, so hopefully that'll help with the sound. Sorry, I got my child here. And my wife is not really as close as she was supposed to have been because it got really late. It's like, what is it, 11? Yeah, it's 11 o'clock. My kids need to go to bed. And I wanted to do a live stream tonight and talk to people. And she's breast pumping because she's done already fed the baby. I'm topping him off so he'll sleep tonight. And we're getting ready to go to bed ourselves. And so I just wanted to be able to come on. I hadn't been on live streaming in a long time. And I know I have some people that follow me that like to ask questions. And I'm here trying to, answer any questions that I can. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me anything you want. It doesn't have to be about bed bugs. It can be about roaches or fleas or ants or anything.
So now, why would you, as an exterminator, feel like you would not feel safe going out and buying something off the counter for, like, let's say, bed bugs? So, like an all-natural...
Well, one reason I don't buy pesticides, a lot of the pesticides over the counter for bed bugs, I wouldn't buy them ever. Because everybody else is using that too. The thing about bed bugs, bed bugs and cockroaches, both will develop immunity to pretty much every pesticide on the market because that's what everybody else is using. You want to use something that the public isn't using. If you can buy it in Dollar General, don't buy it to kill bed bugs, don't buy it to kill roaches because it's not going to work. Now, if the pesticides did work as far as toxicity to your children, some of this stuff is just awful. For example, bug bombs. This is the most common thing people use in their house. They'll go to the store and they'll buy foggers and they'll set off foggers in their house. Now you set off a fogger in your house and it settles down on every single surface of your house. It settles down on your countertops, on your bed, on your chairs. It gets on surfaces that you wouldn't normally treat with pesticide. If you're treating like a home for spiders or crickets or ants or even cockroaches, there's no reason to set off a bug bomb that's going to spray every single surface of your house. You want to use something in the cracks because that's where the roaches live, that's where the ants live, that's where the spiders live. They all live in and around the cracks of your home. And if you're using a bug bomb in the house, well, it's putting pesticide absolutely in the places that you're not going to want pesticide to be. And there's my timer just went off. So you can turn that thing off now.
Yeah.
So, and then they'll probably be able to hear me a lot.
And then
more
what
clearly
about
now.
the all-natural? I think you've beat diatomaceous earth to death.
Yeah, well, all natural pesticides like EcoSmart or eco-friendly or green, a lot of your green pesticides don't even have an EPA registration number. They haven't been through tests. They haven't had, hundreds of tests. Some of the pesticides I use have been around for over 50 years, and they have had hundreds of tests done on them over the past 50 years. And so the license, the label that they allow for is so you know that it's going to work and it's going to be safe because it's been used for over 50 years, so it's been around for a while. And what was your question? I'm tired.
The natural things. You were talking about the EPA
natural
registration.
things haven't been tested. A lot of them haven't been tested. From the research I've done and the chemicals I've used some of the EcoSmart brand and the different pesticides you can buy over the counter that are considered like tea tree oils, cedarwood oils, and stuff like that. They're just not very, they're not safe. They're actually more of a carcinogen than some of the just regular pesticides have been around for a long time. And so if you deem that your house needs pest control, you're better off getting something that you know works rather than wasting your money on the EcoSmart friendly stuff. I had a can, just to tell you a story, back, I was probably 17, 18 years old, and my father, who I used to work for, he bought a case of EcoSmart pesticide in a can, which is like an aerosol can, and it was for cockroaches, killing roaches and ants, things like that in the cracks and crevices. We went and used 1/2 of 1 can. It made me so miserably ill. Now, not actually sick. I didn't catch a disease. But I had snot and mucus coming from every hole on my face. My eyes were watering. My nose was running. It was the most miserable thing I had ever used. And here I am going in somebody's house, spraying for their bugs. And they're asking me, they're like, and he fell asleep. They're asking me, is this stuff safe? Is it safe to use around my kids? And I'm doing like this. I'm going, yeah. Oh, yeah, it's not going to hurt you at all. Like that. And it's like, I look like I'm dying. And I'm using this stuff in their house. It's supposed to be safe. You don't have to wear a mask. You don't have to, but you should wear a respirator. The stuff is miserable. And that's what the eco-friendly stuff is. People will tell you, I went in the store, I bought some Raid. I went home, I sprayed it, and that stuff smelled so awful, I couldn't even come back in the house for 2 or 3 hours until it settled. This stuff is not good for you. You know, spraying that stuff around the house is not good for you. The stuff that you can buy on the internet and mix yourself, you know, and use, the stuff I use, I treat cracks and crevices. There's no vapor in the house at all. You don't smell it at all. It's odorless. Most of your pesticides nowadays are all odorless. So, you know, back 30 years ago, back when chlordane, or actually more than 30 years ago now, when chlordane was legal, you know, yeah, the chemicals stunk. You get chlordane, you had Durazban TC, you know, diazinon. Those pesticides stunk, and they stunk awful. Orthene, still around today, and they smell really bad. But when it comes to, you know, the pesticides they have now, like, you know, most of your synthetic pyrethroids don't smell at all. Your neonicotinoids don't smell at all. So it's something that people have this misconception that if you have pest control come in your house and spray chemicals around the house, it's going to stink awful, it's going to smell miserable, and it's going to be harmful to your children, it's going to be harmful to people. I've sprayed offices. All right, I've gone into offices before, walked around, and haven't sprayed yet, and had people say, before I've sprayed, oh man, that smells awful. I can't stand that stuff. Oh man, that stuff's giving me a headache. And I hadn't even sprayed anything yet. Yeah, I have this one office that I used to do every month. And I would go in, and she would be, the one lady I knew that would always complain. I had to get clearance every time before I would go and start spraying. And so, come on, you want this? And I would have to walk past this one woman's office every time. And I think she thought I was treating before I got my clearance. And she would always complain, all that stuff stinks so bad. Oh, I've got the worst headache. And I hadn't even sprayed anything. So I really think the populace, the general populace, believes that pesticides harm you. Most pesticides really just don't. If they're mixed to label and you do it right, you're not going to hurt yourself.
Now, one person asked you always check a hotel room for, I guess, bed bugs, even if it's nice.
Yes, always. Every hotel room, well, I won't say every, most every hotel room looks nice on the inside. You know, even if it may be kind of junky or ratty looking outside. When you go into the room, they do the best they can to make it look nice on the inside. But that does not mean it's nice. I could, if I'm live and I'm using my phone, I could actually show them how to do a test on the bed real quick and show them exactly where to look. But this room doesn't have bed bugs. I've already looked. My advice with hotels is to go in, check every bed before you bring your luggage in the room. Don't go in the room and sit your luggage on the bed. Don't go in there and have your kids, well, like my kids. I teach my kids to go look for bed bugs. My daughter's 5 years old. I had her crawling up underneath the bed and everything when we first came in the room. You need to check for those black smears. Do a Google search. Google bed bug staining on mattresses, and it'll show you exactly what it looks like. Look for that. You know, if you see, sorry, my mustache is making my nose itch. If you see, you know, the smears on the bed or on the sheets or around the corners of your box spring, then demand another room. You know, not every room's going to look like that. Not every room has bed bugs. So, but yeah, you definitely should check every single mattress before you put your stuff in the room at all and demand another room. Is there anything else?
Someone said something about Had you seen, man, how do I go back and actually view the messages?
You can't.
Oh, you can't? It was like
No.
the Service Technician's Field Guide. Have you heard of that book?
Yeah, I've got it.
You have it?
I have it. Yeah, the field guide, service technician field guide. Yeah, I have it. I had to read it in order to get my license in Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone said that they had just bought it.
I might have an older volume, but because when I took my test to get my license in Virginia, I was 17 years old. So I've been licensed since I was 17, so that's almost 20 years. It'll be 20 years in a couple months because I turned 36 in December, 37 in December. But so I've been licensed for 20 years doing pest control. I've been doing pest control for 30 with my father, but because I went with him when I was a kid. But the field and service technician guide that I had, I had three because I had to do, at the time in Virginia, there were 3 tests I had to take. There was one for termites, one for general pest, and one for like chemical. I think it's been 20 years, but now I think they've combined 2 of those, and it's just 2 tests you take now. But yeah, I had to read like 3 or 4 of those field guides. It was a lot of reading. It took me like a month to prepare for the test. It was a lot. Is that all?
That's all the questions.
I think so. I'm gonna head on out then. If there aren't any other questions, how many people we got watching?
9.
9. Wow, I got a lot of people tonight. I'm not a major YouTuber. I don't do thousands of people come and watch me play some Fortnite or something, but I got people watching me talk about, bugs. Some people, well, they just wanted to come on and see Charlie. This is my son. He's pretty cool when he's sleeping. So, but he's all swaddled up, ready to go to bed. So I'm gonna get on to sleep myself. I'm gonna tuck my kids into bed. My daughter's running around like a crazy loon. I think I might have given her too much. I gave her a little. I went to Starbucks today, and I thought I'd let her have a little sip of my coffee, and that was the stupidest thing.
Is that new witch's brew?
Yeah, the witch's brew. It's not very good. It's like a cup about that big, and it's $6, and it's nasty. It's not nasty. It tastes like a dreamsicle. It's purple. But if you like dreamsicles, it's alright. But it ain't worth $6. You're better off just getting drip coffee for a couple bucks if you like coffee. So, but anyway, if there aren't any more questions, I'm gonna head on to bed.
One lady asked if I guess she's talking about bed bugs. Are they usually on box springs or mattresses?
They can be on box springs and mattresses, but they're typically on the box spring. The mattress is typically harder to check. The biggest issue with checking for bed bugs in a hotel is you want to be discreet. You don't want to come in and just mess up the beds and fling all the covers off and everything, because if you do find bed bugs and you don't want to use the room, you don't want the room to look like a mess either. But well, I guess you do, because you don't want other people to go stay in it. I guess you could tear it all to pieces. But the thing is, the most common place you're going to find bed bugs is on the box spring. Bed bugs don't like a lot of movement. And so when you're laying on the bed, you're going to move around and lay around and roll around and get on and up and off and off and off of the bed. And so you're going to disturb the bed. And the bed bugs don't typically live on the mattress unless they've just so infested the box spring they start spreading up into the mattress. So you're not typically going to find them on the mattress at all. Now you might find blood spots on the mattress. If you peel back the fitted sheet, you might actually find some blood spots on the actual mattress itself. But the blood spots are typically on the box spring under the skirting. And if you peel the mattress up and you find that there's bed bags already on the mattress and box spring, don't assume they have bed bugs. It might just be preventative to keep bed bugs from infesting their beds. Because if you really think about it, a hotel has thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars invested on their beds. And it would be in their best interest to wrap the beds in a bag to keep them from getting infested if someone were to happen to bring bed bugs into their hotel. So don't assume just because they have bed bags on the beds that they even have a bed bug problem. It could be done on preventative. I've been in some brand new hotels that it's obvious they had never had bed bugs in the room. They were brand new, but they had bed bags on all the beds. So don't just assume that they've gone, because they've had bed bags on the beds that they're not. They're actually being proactive. You want that in a hotel.
Now, someone asked, do you worry about bringing anything home with you when you go out on these jobs?
The only thing that I ever have brought home with me are fleas. I've never brought. I've never. Oh, sorry. I've never brought I've never brought bed bugs home with me. I've never brought roaches home with me. Let me think. What are the things most common to bring home with you? Roaches, bed bugs, and fleas. Really, fleas are really common. Fleas. In fact, most pest control technicians, if they've been in the job as long as I have, they've brought fleas home with them. If they haven't, they're lying to you. They've at least infested their truck. I've infested my car. I have to treat my car to kill the fleas. It's miserable. They're the worst. I used to have cats. I don't have pets anymore, but I used to have cats. And you bring home fleas, and they would get on your cat. It didn't matter if you treated your cats or not. They would get fleas. Fleas would die if you treated your cat, but they'd still get fleas. Or fleas would eat me because I don't treat myself. So that's the only thing. But as far as bed bugs, I've never been worried about bed bugs. I'm really careful. I use Crossfire, and it's not labeled for, like, you don't have to wear gloves when you apply Crossfire for bed bugs. But I always wear gloves. I always wear gloves. I don't wear a Tyvek suit. Some of these guys I've seen on YouTube, they'll go in and they'll duct tape their gloves to their Tyvek suit, or they'll duct tape their boots to their suit, and they'll go in, look like some hazmat team, like they're going into this horrible chemical spill area and everything, but there's not really that need. I've been in some really heavily infested, Rory, my son, he's laying over there, he's been in some very heavily infested homes before. And we're just really careful. You know, if you're really careful what you touch and what you rub up against, you're really not going to bring them home. I have brought an egg home with me one time. There was a bed bug egg on a pair of my pants. And the only reason it was on my pants is because I went into a woman's house. It was heavily infested. I've never done this for anyone before, but I vacuumed her whole house because she was disabled and she really couldn't do it for herself, and I just did it to help her. And I kneeled down on the floor, not thinking that it was right beside the bed, and an egg must have transferred onto the knee of my pants, and I took it home with me in my truck. But I noticed it on my pant leg when I got out of the truck, and I just went straight in, threw my laundry in the washing machine, and washed it. Didn't infest my house. So I have accidentally almost taken a bed bug home with me.
Yeah. And then the lady's asking about where you can get the bed bags.
I don't recommend bed bags if you have an active infestation. If you're worried about preventing bed bugs from getting into your bed and you don't have bed bugs, then you can get bed bags from Amazon. You can get bed bags from Walmart. It doesn't matter. But if you have an active infestation of bed bugs in your home, do not use bed bags on your beds, because what you're doing is you're putting a Band-Aid on a problem that's going to come back in just a few months. The reason I say that is because bed bugs can live for 18 months without a blood meal. There are some bed bags, like on mattresses, that the bed bugs can actually bite you through them. So you're not really fixing your problem, you're just kind of containing it until the bed bag rips. And as soon as the bed bag rips, the bugs are going to come out and they're going to bite you. I've witnessed it firsthand. I've seen $200 bed bags rip. It takes them like 9 or 10 months to rip. But because they stay on the box spring all the time, and the box spring rests on your bed frame, just the friction of getting in and out of the bed, and the bed bag's gonna rip, and the bed bugs are gonna come out of the box spring, and they're gonna crawl up the bed and they're gonna bite you again. So you're really better off ensuring that you've killed your problem, and then as a preventative measure, put the bed bags on the bed. That's the only thing that I recommend bed bags for, is prevention only. They're not for elimination.
So basically to keep your mattress pristine looking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so if you have a brand new mattress, right, here's the thing about mattresses. We bought our last 2 mattresses from Costco. Costco guarantees their mattresses for like 10 years. If you call Costco, they will return your mattress at no charge and give you a return. They'll give you a refund on your mattress. If your mattress has any stains on it, like bed bug stains, that voids it. They will not take your mattress. So if you buy a brand new mattress and you worry that maybe you travel a lot, you want to take and seal that mattress in a bed bag. Because if for some reason you do have a warranty on your mattress that you want to claim at a later date, like if your mattress starts to sink in the middle or something and you want to claim that warranty, then you want to keep your mattress looking as pristine as you can. Because if it has bed bug markings on it, they are not going to take it. You are not going to get your warranty. They are not going to take care of you. So keep that in mind, just in case you're wondering. It's a good idea to buy them for that reason.
Okay.
So, and if there are any other questions, I will head to bed.
Okay.
But I'm just sitting here because I'm waiting for her. Usually I can read the text. I sit here and I read the chat as it scrolls, and then I can answer the questions, but she's got the camera because I'm holding the baby. So, he's asleep. So, we'll talk to you later. You guys have a great night.